Hello, I'm Kristen from Kristen Kane Style. Welcome. I am so glad that you are here today. I am a style and mindset coach, and I can help you simplify your style and build a wardrobe you absolutely love wearing. Having incredible style does not have to be complicated or expensive, and my work with one-on-one clients, as well as here through my YouTube videos and also over on Instagram, is really designed to help you realize that having incredible style can be fun and pretty effortless if you put a little bit of work in on the front side. And so, we want our wardrobes to really just support our lives and to be effortless to wear and to have outfits that are, incredibly fabulous and authentic. And yet, if we are not willing to put the work in up front, then we just end up frustrated and feeling stuck, and it just kind of is this spiral that feels like we're never going to get out of it. And these style struggles seem to be a regular part of our everyday existence. And every time we go to get dressed, we're thinking, I should have done something about this before now, and it would have been easier to get dressed today. So that's what I do here. And it's also what I do one-on-one with clients. Style therapy is the way that I work with you one-on-one, either online or in person. There is a link down below. If you'd like to book a consult call, we can hop on a Zoom and see if we're a good fit. See if what I offer is actually the answer to your style struggles. I would be happy to help you get things sorted so that you can get dressed and love how you look and feel in your clothes. Okay, today, speaking of clothes, I have, this one has been a requested topic a couple of times, and I have DM'd with people and messaged with people about this topic, and I don't think I have ever addressed it here. And so today's the day, now's the time. I am going to talk about special occasion wear, and specifically about the sort of taboo sense, especially in the United States, that you can't wear the same special occasion outfit or dress more than once. I think we have all been in a position where we had something that we could have worn to an event, and yet we didn't because we had already worn it to a different event, and maybe some of the same people would be there. And it's just sort of this big mess that is unnecessary with regards to getting dressed for a special occasion. So, and I think we're actually in a slightly worse place right now with regards to special occasion wear because we've taken a couple of years off. And so holiday parties are back, and weddings are happening again, and special events are happening. And so for 2 years, I think we were let off the hook a little bit because we didn't have to go anywhere that required special occasion wear. And so we kind of, I think some of us, myself included, breathed a little bit of a sigh of relief thinking, okay, I don't have to worry about that this season because no one's getting married, no one's having Christmas parties, no one's having, lavish events, so I'm off the hook. Not so anymore. We are back at it. I certainly know of lots of clients who have messaged me or emailed me to mention that they have been invited to something and what are they going to wear. And so I guess the first question is, what comes up for you when you receive an invitation to something that requires clothing that isn't your normal everyday go-to clothing? Are you filled with dread? Is there a sense of panic? Are you apt to decline the invitation because you don't want to worry about that, quote, nothing to wear feeling that comes up when you're invited to a special occasion that will require something a little bit dressier than you usually wear? This is not uncommon. Most of us are not living in worlds where we need to get dressed up on a regular basis. Certainly I have some clients, and I've worked with some women in the retail environment where their lives, whether it be their life or their partner's life or their children's lives, require them to be more dressed up more often, going to events or going to, different sorts of occasions that would require a dressier look. That is not the norm. Most of us just go through our lives with an occasional season, literally a season like a holiday season, or a season where all of our friends are getting married or all of our friends' kids are having babies and we have to go to baby showers or whatever the case is. But it's not common for us to need to get dressed up very often. And so we're out of practice. We've never had practice. We've never gotten good at getting dressed up because we do it and then we kind of breathe this big sigh of, okay, I lived through that. I don't have to do it again until I receive the next invitation. We don't spend the time and the energy on getting clear on our formal wear. So today I want to talk specifically about re-wearing formal wear and also just kind of give some tips on my feelings about special occasion wear and formal wear. So the first thing I believe is that when you receive an invitation to go somewhere special that's going to require that you get dressed up a little more, and it could be a date, it could be a party, it could be, some sort of a Christmas gathering or a holiday gathering, it could be a wedding, a friend's wedding, that you're not in the wedding. If you receive an invitation like that, my guess and my experience when I work with clients in their closets is that you likely have more than one option already hanging in your closet that you could wear to that event. What happens is we have this taboo that you can't possibly wear the same event if you're going to see any of the same people, which I just really believe is a myth. And it's partially a myth, I'm sure, initiated by the retail world because they want you, of course, to buy a new dress for every occasion. And so if retailers were trying to say, oh, well, you don't need a new dress for this season, if Anthropologie stopped making new pretty party dresses because they said, you know what, everybody has enough dresses in their closet, we don't need to make any this season, take a pause and just wear what you have, clearly they would lose lots of money. And so there is this sense in the retail world that you need to keep having the newest and best and brightest and sparkliest dress for each season, and that there's somehow something wrong with you if you are not wearing something new to a special occasion. And I just fundamentally do not believe this. And I didn't really ever believe it, and I believe it less now that I do more thrifting because I rarely wear something that's new. And so I just don't think that's how our wardrobes should be designed, and that is not how I work with clients when I help them build a wardrobe that is truly functional and fabulous and sustainable and supports the life that they live. So chances are you have something you could wear if you've received an invitation and you're kind of panicked about what am I going to do, when am I going to shop, how am I going to find something new to wear to this event. Chances are you have something in your closet. And if you really truly don't, which I'm not sure I believe, and if I could come to your closet, I bet we could find something. But if you really truly don't, that's where to start with regards to this topic. Because as I said a second ago, your wardrobe should support the life you live. And so if the life you live occasionally has a special occasion, then there should be some special occasion pieces in your wardrobe. So there is an exception to this, and the exception would be if you are the guest of honor. If it is your 60th birthday or your 30th birthday, if it is your child's wedding, if it is some situation where you are being honored for work or for some good that you have done and it is your night to shine, absolutely buy something new if that's what you would like to do. You do not have to buy something new. If you have something in your closet that you absolutely love, wear that. There's nothing wrong with that, even if people have seen it before. But if you are the guest of honor, if you are the person of the night, then there is nothing wrong with buying something new. That is not specifically what I'm speaking to here. I am speaking to everyone else's events that you are invited to, that you're feeling like you have to go spend money on buying something new to wear to that event so that you're not being seen in something you've already worn, or buying something new because for some reason, if you don't, that says something about you. And it's really a waste of time and money and energy, in my opinion, to continue to bring in these kind of special occasion, fancier pieces that don't really work to support the life that we live and the style that we want to present to the world. So the way that I would suggest you start with regards to special occasion wear is to get clear, spend a little bit of time getting clear on how often are you invited to things where you need to be a little more dressed up. Do you go on a date every Friday night? Is Friday night date night at your house? And so you're constantly struggling to find something that you feel really fabulous in that's a little dressier than what you wear on a regular day. Pay attention to that. Take notes, like make little check marks of how many nights you need to be dressed up in a month. Look at the calendar and see how many things you've already been invited to. Pay attention to, in past years, Christmas parties or things like that. How many have you been invited to? How many times have you needed to get dressed up through the month for work Christmas party or family Christmas parties or just events in general that would happen through the holiday season? And take note. Okay, so I have 10 events that I need to be dressed up for. Some date nights and some holiday parties and a work event, whatever it is. How many times do you need to have something on that is elevated and different from what you wear on a regular day? And then pay attention to, if it's important to you, who's going to attend those events. If it's date night, you probably don't want to wear the same thing every Friday night when you go out for dinner or out to a movie or whatever your date night is with your significant other. So there's nothing wrong with that. You can have a rotating collection of date clothes, a date capsule, a special occasion capsule, where you gather pieces that will work for that don't make it feel like you're resorting to your regular clothes if those don't feel sexy and fabulous for a more special occasion. And once you have an idea of how many times you actually need to get dressed up, because in your mind you might be thinking, oh, I have all these occasions coming up, but in reality, you maybe need one new outfit because they're all different people who will be at these occasions, or you don't really care if these people see you in the same basic outfit or dress or whatever repeatedly. And so you really might only need one, but your brain has decided, oh my gosh, this is going to be just way overwhelming. And the next thing to ask yourself is, what's authentic for you? What is your comfort level with regards to getting dressed up? Is it something that you really are uncomfortable with? In which case, there are ways to create a special occasion capsule, and there are pieces you can wear that will feel more in your comfort zone, but you'll still look elevated and perfectly appropriate for any situation. Just because everyone else is wearing a dress does not mean you have to. There are lots of ways to dress in cocktail attire or even black tie attire that would not require high heels or a dress. So get clear on what actually is authentic for you. How would you show up in your most authentic self? If there were sort of this Cinderella miracle that was going to happen and the fairy godmother was going to magically wave her wand and bippity boppity boo and all that, and you could be in the perfect party outfit for you, what would that be? It does not have to be a dress. It does not have to be a suit. There are lots of options, and I'm going to chat a little bit about that in a minute, but just start with what's authentic for you. What feels most authentic? Because sometimes with my clients, I find that they're trying to be a dress person when they really don't like wearing dresses at all for whatever their reasons are, and there are lots of reasons. Some women are too cold in a dress. Some women don't like their legs. Some women only look good in a dress that has a cinched waist, and that's just not comfortable for them. Some women feel like they have to wear a dress with heels and they don't like heels. Like, there are lots of reasons why some women feel a dress is too feminine and that's not their authentic style. There are lots of reasons why a dress might not work for you. So don't believe that just because all the stores are showing dresses for holiday that you have to wear a dress. So what is most authentic for you? How many events do you have coming up? And what is most authentic? What would that Cinderella miracle be if you could have your fairy godmother wave a magic wand and have you be in your perfect authentic outfit for a special occasion? What would that be? And it might help to look at what your limiting beliefs are with regards to special occasion, and specifically with regards, if you have a problem with re-wearing something, with repeating a dress or an outfit that you've worn to a special occasion in the past. Jot down, do a little journaling on what are your limiting beliefs around that, specifically around, wearing the repeat garment. What are you making that mean about you? Are you making it mean that you can't afford a new dress? And is that actually true? And does that actually matter? Is that anybody's business? Are you making it mean that you are lazy and you didn't bother to shop? What are the things that you're making that repeating of the dress or the outfit? What are you making that mean? Are you just buying into the fact that for some reason our society has decided that there's something wrong with repeating the wear of a fabulous dress? I think that's ridiculous, honestly. European women don't do that. A French woman buys an amazing dress and she wears it on repeat until it needs to be mended, and then she mends it and then she keeps wearing it, as a general stereotype. The way of handling clothing and shopping and new purchases and special occasion wear is very different in other countries than it is here. And so we're not right in the way that we look at it. We're allowed to look at it a different way if we choose to. And so the little black dress is a thing for a reason. Just as a little side note, I don't wear a lot of dresses, and I don't currently own, I'm trying to think if I actually do. I don't currently own a little black dress because I'm not as comfortable in dresses as I am in long skirts or in slacks and blazers or a blouse or something like that. And so as much as the little black dress is an iconic thing, and the reason it's iconic is because it can be dressed up or down. It has a timeless element to it as long as you pick the right, shape and kind of vibe for your dress that's authentic to you. And it can be worn over and over again, and you can change the way it looks with everything from your hair to your makeup to your jewelry to your shoes to your, if you were going to wear some sort of tights or hose, to what you would put over top of it. The little black dress has some staying power for that reason. So in addition to paying attention to why you don't want to wear something on repeat, what are those thoughts? What are the beliefs you hold about repeating an outfit or repeating a garment for a special occasion? pay attention to what is it that you maybe don't like about special occasion wear. Like if you're someone who, like some women love to shop for fancy dresses, or they love to repeat and reinvent a fancy dress they already have and keep wearing it over and over again. So for some women, this isn't a problem. But if it feels like you've got some resistance to the idea of this invitation that's come in the mail and now you have no idea what to wear, pay attention to what is that resistance. Is it that you feel like special occasion wear fits a certain way and you don't feel comfortable in that? Is it that you don't love wearing heels and you feel like you have to wear heels with special occasion wear? Or you have to wear some sort of hosiery and you're not into hosiery? Is it that it feels expensive and you're always spending money on an outfit that you just wear once, or a dress that you just wear once to go to a special occasion or an event? Is it that you don't have the time to go look for another piece after work and you're exhausted and that's the last thing you feel like doing? Is it that dressed up clothing just doesn't feel authentic for you? And so every time you get an invitation, you get kind of sweaty and think, I'm going to be so uncomfortable that night. All of that can be worked with. You can go to the event and you can feel authentic and you can wear something that feels authentic. It is not that you have to choose whether to attend the event or whether to show up authentically in your own style. So the next thing I would ask yourself is, how do you want to feel? That Cinderella moment, how do you want to look and feel when you get dressed for whatever these upcoming events are, whether they're a date night or a holiday party or some sort of a work situation where you need to be dressed up or you need to be more elevated? How do you want to feel? And then decide what that looks like for you. For me, several years ago, I attended a wedding and I knew everyone was going to be in a dress. It was not a formal wedding, but it was on the East Coast, and it was a situation where I knew everyone would be pretty dressed up and mainly women would be wearing dresses. And I didn't have a dress I loved. I worked at Anthropologie at the time. I couldn't find a dress I loved. I had a long gold pleated skirt. So just like a column of kind of muted, not shiny, but muted gold, metallic, but muted column, full length pleated skirt. I loved it. I went to Target and bought a really beautiful cream colored blouse with sort of gold embroidered polka dots on it. It sounds terrible, but it was actually beautiful. And they weren't like perfect polka dots. They were like spots maybe. And it kind of wrapped in the front and it looked like it was front tucked because it was a little cinched at the waist. And together with the skirt, it made this beautiful combination that felt amazing. I wore a cashmere wrap over top of it and some pretty jewelry. I felt perfectly dressed for the occasion, but I didn't have to go against what was authentic for me. And I didn't have to buy a whole new head to toe look because I already owned the skirt and I went to Target for the blouse. And so it is possible to decide how. I knew I wanted to feel comfortable. I knew I wanted to feel like myself. I knew I didn't want to spend a lot of money. And so all of those things informed the pieces that I finally ended up putting together and wearing. The thing with formal wear is, if you don't have a life where you need to wear formal wear often you buy something and then you think, well, I'll wear that again. And then by the time you get invited to something else again, it is either not the right season for the dress that you wore in the summer. Now it's January or December and it's freezing cold and that dress just doesn't translate and you would look a little out of place in it. Or you bought something and then a 2-year pandemic happens and now you go to wear it and the style just doesn't feel as updated because you didn't buy a classic little black dress that would last for decades, there's nothing wrong with that. But if that's not the purchase that you made, then what you have hanging in your closet might not feel like you. Certainly, all of us have changed immeasurably in the last couple of years, as has our style. And so it is possible that the formal wear that you have just isn't serving you anymore. In which case, sell it on Poshmark or at a local consignment store, or just donate it to Salvation Army, Goodwill, any of those places, and find something else. With regards to find something else, the first thing I would do, because I have done this many, many times, thank you, Beth, is to find that friend who is the dress wearer, who always buys fabulous new dresses, either because she just loves them or because it actually is part of her life to go to a lot of events. And so she has literally a closet full of dresses and she would be more than happy to loan them to you. I have such a friend. I have had the sincere pleasure of wearing her dresses all over the world, really. I have taken them to weddings in other countries and I have worn them to events here in the US. And I am forever grateful for her allowing me to come to her home and try on different outfits and different dresses and borrow them for the price of the dry cleaning and maybe a lunch. So if you have a friend who is stylish, who you could share clothing with, and who would be willing to loan you a dress for an upcoming occasion, ask. Like as a person who is happy to share and who has been the very grateful recipient of someone else who was happy to share, I think that's a good place to start. The next thing I would do is look at thrifting or at consignment shops, because both thrift and consignment get beautiful dresses that for whatever reason just aren't working for the people who had them, who then donated them or sold them. And so, or Poshmark, anywhere you would do secondhand, because a lot of people have this idea that if they've worn a dress once, they can't wear it again to another occasion. And so those beautiful dresses that have literally been worn once are now for sale secondhand. So I would check your secondhand stores. I would also check the rental spots. I believe Anthropologie still does Nuuly, Nuuly, I think. Might just be Nuuly. Nuuly does rental of Anthropologie, both kind of some past season and current season, where you can literally rent the dress or rent the outfit, and Rent the Runway certainly has been doing that for a very long time. I have not personally rented from Rent the Runway because I always had a friend who was willing to loan me a dress, or I was willing to buy it secondhand, or I worked retail and shopped retail. But Rent the Runway has the most incredible selection of garments ever, and it's worth it. I mean, why not get yourself into something amazing if you're going to try something different and you aren't someone who wants to invest in one piece that you're going to keep wearing over and over again. And the last thing I'll mention is, whether you rent or whether you thrift or whether you borrow, it would also be a good idea to begin to curate your own collection of pieces that will allow you to get dressed up and accept an invitation and go to a fabulous event or even a date night wearing something that you already own, so that it isn't stressful. Our wardrobe should support the life that we live. So if you do something on a regular basis, or even if once a year you have one event that you need to be dressed up for, what's in your wardrobe should be supporting that, or you should be aware of it enough that you are ready to get dressed for that event before it's like the Friday night before and you're stopping at Anthropologie or Nordstrom to try to find a dress to wear, which I have seen many, many, many times. And I've done it myself. I'm not scolding. I totally understand how it happens. I just now know the ease and the peace of mind that comes with having a wardrobe that truly supports the life that you live. So if getting dressed up once in a while is part of the life that you live, which for most of us it is, especially now heading back into a world where we are doing fun things like going to parties, begin to curate that collection for yourself. And I personally do it with separates. I want a couple of sparkly tops or a sparkly sweater, a couple of beautiful silk blouses or camisoles, a couple of necklaces that could elevate even a basic t-shirt and jeans, a couple of blazers, one maybe velvet, one maybe with a little sparkle, a pair of really great trousers or slacks, a pair of dressier jeans, a pair of heels, shoes that might have a little bit of heel that aren't uncomfortable, a pair of sparkly flats or flats in a fun color that would make an outfit feel more elevated. Whatever those things are for you that would feel like, I'm a little dressed up and I feel a little fabulous and a little fancy. Whatever those things are for you, start to build that little capsule. It doesn't have to be huge. It doesn't have to be ever changing. You can go to dinner at the same friend's house, 6 weeks apart and wear the same blazer or wear the same pair of jeans. No one is judging you for that. And if they are, you shouldn't be going to that friend's house. Like that's not what it's all about. Great style does not mean you look different every single time you show up somewhere. Really great personal style is dialed in so that you have pieces that feel authentic, that you love wearing, they light you up when you put them on, and you wear them over and over and over and over again. Because let's face it, you buy a great dress and you only wear it once, that's just terrible. It's terrible for the dress, it's terrible for you. So whatever the pieces are that you're bringing in that are those more elevated, fancier, more dressed up, special pieces, make sure they're authentic and begin to create a little collection that if you're going to do separates, if you're a dress person, just do dresses, no problem. And make sure you've got shoes that go with them and the jewelry you like and the undergarments that work, and do dresses, no problem. I'm speaking right this second more to people like me who would rather have separates on just because they're a little more comfortable in that. And then if it's one great long black skirt or one great short black skirt or one great pair of satin trousers in whatever color works for you, speaking of color, the little black dress does not have to be black. It can be navy blue, it can be a really dark charcoal gray, it could be burgundy, it could be a really deep forest green. Whatever your little black dress is, whatever that color is that you're going to feel comfortable in over and over and over again, it's totally fine if it is not black. The reason it's black is because black goes everywhere. You know, everybody has decided that it is a timeless way to look elegant and chic and to change the accessories and make the dress itself look different. But if for you, for me, it probably would be navy blue. If I were going to buy a little black dress right now, it probably would be a little navy blue dress. And so there's nothing wrong with that. I just want to kind of add in that it does not have to be black. The same with your separates. If you would be happiest in sort of a swingy little navy blue skirt, that you could have a bunch of different tops and blazers and sweaters that would elevate it and make you feel fabulous to go to a wedding or a date night or a holiday party or, you know, whatever it would be. That's what you need to be paying attention to and starting to accumulate. There is nothing wrong with wearing an outfit or a dress on repeat, even in the same crowd. Absolutely nothing wrong with it. My belief is that more often than not, no one else is noticing except you, and the people who are noticing have their own hang-ups about their own style, and you shouldn't really spend a whole lot of time worrying about them. You should wear what makes you feel most authentic and most lit up and most comfortable, and just rock it. And if you find a dress or an outfit that you absolutely love for a special occasion, I would wear it as many times as you possibly can, and then tweak and change things as needed in order to keep the look fresh. I hope that that is helpful. If you have any questions, feel free to drop them down below and I will answer. I know we are headed into the season of all things sparkle. While I no longer work at Anthropologie, I love the sparkle and the shimmer that comes with this time of year. I still have some pieces in my closet that I will put on with jeans and little booties and head to Costco happily wearing a little bit of wow for the season. So if you have questions, like I said, drop them down below. I understand this issue of formal wear, and I think we're all just kind of getting the kinks out and kind of getting back in the practice of getting dressed up. And so there's no wrong way to do it. Wear what feels authentic and what makes you look and feel amazing for you. I do a live Q&A on Instagram every Tuesday at noon Mountain Time. So if you are not already following me over there, please come over and check it out. All of the past Q&As get recorded so you can watch them in my feed. And let's see, I will be back here next Friday with another video. If there's ever a topic you would like me to address, like I said, this topic was because several people asked about this topic. If there's ever a topic you would like me to address and make a future video on, just drop it down in the comments below and I'll be happy to add it to the list. If you're interested in having me help with formal wear or anything else in your closet and wardrobe, I do work one-on-one with women. Style therapy is how we do that. The link's down below. That's all I got for today. Thanks so much for being here. I hope you have a beautiful week. I'll see you next Friday.